Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as you already know from the title and the thumbnail, is going to be about IVF procedure. So there it is, a huge update in my husband and my life. We are starting our second IVF procedure. We've done one IVF procedure last year that was unsuccessful. I made a whole video post factum about that. Couple of months after that, I filmed a video sharing my experience with you, and that's the video I'm talking about. I will link it down below just to let you know what was the initial experience with IVF in my case. And now almost entire year has passed and we are trying again. We already have started our treatment this time, so I am what it's called within a cycle right now. And I thought I will document my journey this time for you. Last time I did IVF, I was not documenting that journey at all because I was busy with so many other things at the time during the procedure, during the treatment. And this time I decided that my focus will be fully on IVF, just to increase the chances of success as well as decrease stress that can stem from having too much going on at the same time. However, I also thought that would be a good idea to document the whole journey step by step for you, not only to provide like a community of support for you or your close one and your family or your partner if you are going through IVF. I know that right now there are lots of couples, more and more, who struggle with fertility issues for various reasons. That can be very isolating feeling, that can be very daunting feeling, that can be very lonely as well for many reasons. For example, IVF in many cultures, many countries is still some sorts of taboo. People don't want to talk about it for various reasons, starting from religious through personal, on family related issues ending up with. So that can be isolating. Sometimes people, for variety of personal reasons, decide not to share the fact that they go through IVF journey with their family, friends or close one. Therefore, going through that by themselves only and having no one to talk about it can be difficult process, especially that you have to go through so much. It's a very difficult process, very challenging, and takes a toll physically, mentally, emotionally and financially on you and your partner. So to go through that on your own, by yourself, without anyone else knowing, it takes a lot, yeah? So if you are one of the people who have to go through it on your own, I hope that through this video and upcoming series of my next episodes related to IVF, you will find some sorts of support and someone to go through this together with. Also, this video is dedicated to people who are struggling with their fertility, who try, for example, for long time or short time, regardless of the period of time, but unsuccessfully, and they are considering going IVF route. So in this video, I'm going to explain you the process step by step, all the stages of IVF. I'm going to talk about it with you in details, from medical point of view as well as from personal point of view, because of course you have to go to the doctor to talk about it, and doctor will also tell you step by step what the procedure gonna look like. I'm gonna tell you what the procedure gonna look like, and I'm also going to tell you how it's gonna feel, since I'm going through the procedure right now as we speak. For the purpose of this video and in order to explain the whole process and the treatment best way possible to people who, for example, let's assume don't know anything about the process, I'm going to be the most precise, concise and factual as possible. So if you already know a lot about the process and you just want to see how the journey goes, prepare for the fact that I may over-explain lots of things, but that's for the people who are learning about the process from the beginning. So as I said, I'm gonna explain all the steps of the treatment in this video step by step, tell you how it feels, what to be prepared for, what to expect, as well as I'm going to document my personal experience in upcoming videos related to IVF. So if that's a content that you find interesting for yourself or your close one who's going through the process, please subscribe to my channel, so it will show me that this is valuable content that you can benefit from. Let's start by saying what is IVF treatment. So IVF is an assisting reproductive treatment supporting couples in fertility process, couples who have problems with getting pregnant naturally, and that can be for various reasons. IVF treatment is a treatment that combines egg and sperm together in vitro. In vitro means in glass. So what it means in practice that a female reproductive cell, which is an egg, is combined with a male sperm in a glass vial and left there to create an embryo that will be allowed to grow for up to 5 days, and that will be transferred, hopefully creating successful pregnancy. The couple who decide to go IVF route usually use that as a last resort for many reasons. It's a very invasive procedure. It takes a huge toll on a woman. Probably anyone who considers or ever considered in the past going IVF route heard about how much it takes out of you. There's lots of injections, lots of needles involved, lots of tests, lots of uncertainty, lots of doctor's appointments, and lots of money pour into that. So obviously everyone uses that as a last resort if all else fails. I just want to say, contrary to popular belief, infertility can be on both parts, and there can be lots of reasons of infertility, including unknown reasons. There are also cases in which doctors can't tell the reason, what's the reason for infertility. And yeah, anyway, so let's now go to naming all the stages and telling you what each stage is about and what it's going to involve and what it's going to consist of. So for the purpose of this video, let's say there are 5 stages of IVF treatment and what I will call pre-stage. Pre-stage will be preparation, yeah? So let's first talk about pre-stage preparation. What will be under umbrella of pre-stage and the pre-preparation? That will be, first of all, doing your research about the clinic, going to the doctor, talking about your personal situation, health-wise, where you are in life, what's your history of trying for a baby, how long, what successes, miscarriages, not miscarriages, whatever you went through, addressing that with a doctor, because doctor has to assess what is your personal reason for infertility and the magic solution that is guaranteed to solve every infertility. And people, as I said, treat it as a last result, hoping that that will give them the result that they need if everything else failed. But in some cases, maybe you don't need IVF. Maybe there's underlying cause of your infertility. For example, some hormonal issues, some adrenal issues, some thyroid issues, some other issues that can be solved on a different stage with medications, with different treatment. That can be also male infertility included that you are not aware of because it's not written on anyone's face, right? And even a partner might not be aware of that. So in that pre-stage, you have all this discussion with a doctor. You also have referral for all the tests that you have to undergo, including blood tests to check your health, as well as ultrasound, as well as blood test and a sperm test on a partner side, just to assess sperm quality, quantity, viability, and health overall, to eradicate the situation in which, for example, it's on the partner side, because that might include different treatment options for you. So once all this is done and the doctor assesses your apart your health, your situation, your partner, and decides that the best treatment option for you in your individual situation would be IVF, and all the tests come good enough, there's no any other issue that have to be treated that you are not aware of before you can commence your IVF process, you get a green light from a doctor and you are good to go with what I call 5 stages of IVF treatment. So then you go into stage 1. The doctor, depending on your age, your ovarian reserve, which is also tested during your initial blood test, they want to check your ovarian reserve if you are in an older age, just like I am, to make sure what ovarian stimulation outcome is desired in your case. Therefore, the doctor will prepare a protocol which is custom made for your health and your situation. And here is mine, so I'm gonna just walk you through it. So stage 1 is ovarian stimulation, known as injections. You have to take lots of hormonal injections that will stimulate your ovaries to produce more eggs, because the whole point of IVF is to obtain as many eggs, healthy eggs as possible, in order to increase the chance of creating healthy embryos, in order to have the best possible outcome. So there will be injections that you have to self-administer in the lower abdomen, in the belly, every day at the same time. Depending on your protocol, it may be once a day, twice a day, or 3 times a day. In my case, it's for the first couple of days, for the first 2 days it's 1 injection, then on the day 6, it doesn't matter which day, but a couple days after I started the first medication injection, which I did yesterday, I have to add a second one. I will make a separate video about medication, showing you the quantity and what it looks like and how it's done. It's like a huge 2 big bags of this size, so I'll show you this. I'll go in details about it in another video, so if you want to have that explained as well and see how it looks like, subscribe to this channel so you'll get notified when I will post the medication related video. So anyway, you take the first injection on the first day of your cycle, which is the first day of your period. Then you take this injection every day, adding more if needed, according to your protocol, preparing yourself for egg collection, which takes place during ovulation. So during that process, you have to be prepared to undergo at least 2 ultrasounds and blood tests as well. Also, the day before you commence injections, there's also 1 blood test done as well. But the reason why you go through ultrasounds and blood tests during ovarian stimulation, during taking your injections, is to determine if you have enough hormones to produce desired amount of eggs, or also to see if you are not being overstimulated, because overstimulation is also not good, because you may end up with too many eggs, and that's also not good. There are also side effects to that. So the doctor is monitoring the progress of the results that injections are producing. He's checking the follicles within your ovaries, if they are growing, if they are ready, and the blood test and everything is being checked. So if something is going not according to the plan, there is still a time to adjust a dose of injections, medications. If everything goes well, we then go to stage 2. Stage 2 is a trigger injection, or 2. Can be 2 injections, but they are called trigger shots. Those injections you are supposed to take the day or within 48 hours or 24 hours before scheduled egg retrieval surgery. Depending on what your doctor tell you, what is the time before that, within that time frame you have to take a trigger shot. The purpose of taking trigger shot is to stop ovaries from producing more and more eggs and follicles, and make sure that follicles are ready to release eggs. They are come to full maturity, they are ready for collection. And it's also to stop ovulation from happening in the wrong time. So this is to prepare the time frame window for egg collection surgery. Which brings me to stage 3, which already, as you can guess, is egg collection surgery. Egg collection surgery, as a name suggests, it's a surgery in which you have your eggs retrieved from your ovaries. This is a surgery that is done under the full anesthesia. You have to be submitted to a hospital. It's not done in a doctor's office. You have to be submitted to a hospital. It's a full anesthesia, and you have a surgery during which your doctor will retrieve the ready, developed and matured eggs from your ovaries. After this is done, hopefully you've been like a chicken and laid golden eggs, a satisfactory amount of desired, precious golden eggs, as I say, because the last time, actually, this is how I felt at the end of ovarian stimulation. I felt like so full in here, so bloated, but it's not like a bloated feeling. It's like you are really full around that area where ovaries and uterus are. Like you feel like a chicken really about to lay eggs, because that's what it feels like, because that's basically what you are at that point. So hopefully after surgery you will be informed you'll be informed with the fact that it was successful and you obtained a satisfactory amount of eggs. So last year I got 10. We'll see how many I'll get this time. Once the eggs are retrieved, they are then, depending on the procedure you're going through, because that can be also IUI, other things depending on the partner side. My partner is an example of stellar health, so everything is perfect on his side. So that will be IVF, when they will drop egg in vitro and sperm together, let it do its own thing. Because sometimes, in some cases, they also have to help the sperm to connect with egg if the viability of sperm is diminished. But that's not our case. But that's a different story. In case of IVF, that's what it's going to be done, and then you wait for 5 to 6 days for the embryos to be created in vitro. Also, prepare yourself mentally for the fact that just because you got, for example, like me, 10 eggs, it doesn't mean that you're gonna have 10 healthy embryos, because the chances are, and usually statistically this is the thing, that not all the eggs will become fertilized, not all the embryos will be good, not all the embryos will reach desired level of growth by day 5 or day 6, and that they are ready to transfer. Of course, they will choose the best out of the best, and they will choose the one that has the highest survival chances and the highest implantation chances. So I ended up with one good embryo at the end of it last time, which sounds drastic when you think about it, from 10 to 1, but I'm not going to go into details about it because I already described the whole story in my previous video. So have a look at that if you are interested in that story, just to have perspective and overview of how things may end up. I'll go back to something that I have to say about that as well at the end, but now I just want to finish with 5 steps here. Stage 4, which leads me to embryo transfer. So after the embryos has grown to the desired level of development by day 5 or 6, there is a scheduled embryo transfer. So then again you have to go to the hospital, and then they will transfer that embryo in your uterus. And that is not done at under anesthesia or anything. It's a quick procedure. The doctor just take a little, like a cannula, and insert it inside and just deposit the embryo there. And hopefully that will attach to uterus lining, which by then it's nice and plump, prepared by the progesterone that you will be also taking during that process to prepare uterine lining to have better chances for the embryo to stick in and hold on to dear life. So here we are at step 4, as I said. So as I said, step number 1, ovarian stimulation with injection. Step number 2, trigger injection. Step number 3, egg collection. Step number 4, embryo transfer. And step number 5 is a pregnancy test to see if it was successful, to see if all these efforts, all this battle and hardship was worth it. So the blood test is the best way to determine whether the embryo transfer was successful or not, and whether you are pregnant or not. So it's recommended to do it around 10 days or 2 weeks after embryo transfer. So if you think about it, relatively, it's a quite quick process from ovarian stimulation from the beginning of ovarian stimulation to the end. It's actually a month and a bit if you do fresh embryo transfer. Last time for me it took longer because we froze the embryos to do genetic testing on them, and this time we are not doing that, so that should be quicker and more straightforward process, and we'll see how it goes. So there you have it. Those are 5 stages of in vitro treatment and procedure. So this is a lot to wrap your head around. Although I am so familiar with the process, I was looking down at my notes just to list everything for you, because that's a lot. And I can imagine that for someone who never tried it, it can be quite overwhelming. You also have to remember to take injections every day at the same time, and remember the dosage, and then the little mechanism, the little pen kind of apparatus that you do it with at first time. If you see it, maybe, what's the word? Intimidating, I wanted to say. Yeah, there are lots of things to keep in mind, but I will be explaining those things in upcoming videos as well. Also, what I want to say at the end, if you have an opportunity to take leave or days off for the duration of the process, which is like around 2 to 3 weeks, it's not necessary really. You can still work your way around it while you are working, but I would recommend to do it if you can, if you have that flexibility and luxury to take time off, because it is harder than it seems. Last time I thought, oh, it's not such a big deal, I can do it. It's a lot, trust me, it is a lot. I don't want to scare you, and I don't want to make you feel like, oh my god, this is like so horrible, so stressful. It is and it's not. It just requires lots of focus, lots of diligence, lots of organization, lots of keeping. It's a quick but very tight and filled and busy schedule during this period of time. It's not only injections, it's also, as I said, ultrasounds that you have to plan for the mornings, and blood tests that you have to plan for the mornings, and doctor's appointments, and sometimes can require some changes that you have to go and get other medications and a lot of things. So it's best to give this focus and attention that it needs. From my experience, I can tell you that. So that is my explanation. I hope that was straightforward and answered some questions that you might have had. If you have any more questions about the procedure or anything related to IVF treatment, please let me know in the comments. I will try to answer these questions best to my ability. If you are planning IVF but you are not convinced, you are worried, from my experience also I can tell you that it's better to do it sooner than later. What else can I tell you as someone who already done one treatment and is within the other is give yourself grace and give yourself peace, and just trust the process. Don't blame yourself, don't stress yourself. You are already doing a lot. You are already doing more than needed. You are already taking a huge task upon yourself to complete that. Whether it's successful or not at the end, it doesn't take anything away from the fact that you just have completed a hugely demanding task. So keep that in mind. Don't stress yourself too much. Don't be disappointed if first time it's unsuccessful, because it's not a guarantee of success. Nothing really is, to be honest. And just try to, I know it's hard, but what works best for me is also to adapt approach, which is everything happens in the right time. So it will, and trust the process, do your best, and that's it. It's not the case that we have control over everything in life, but what we have a control over is to do our best within the task that we take upon ourselves. So once you do your part, you have nothing to blame yourself with. And as I said, it's a difficult thing. People can feel lonely in it, isolated, not supported. I wish you all the support that you can get. I hope that you have a freedom and openness to discuss everything freely with your partner, and he provides you enough support as well as a family and friends. And I wish all of you, regardless of which stage and attempt of IVF treatment you are at, I wish you success and least possible amount of stress around the process. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you find it useful. I hope it will benefit you this way or another, or anyone that you know of that is going through the treatment. If this is something that you are interested in, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I will be documenting this journey and each step that I discussed today individually. So now I'm going through injections, and next episode I'm going to show you my medications and show you how the procedure of doing that at home looks like, and then I'm going to update you about how it all feels like during the process. I hope this video helped you, and I am with you if you are going through that process. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one.